Hello and welcome to Viral Stream TV, the chat room. Today my guest is Shameka Reed, founder of Young, Gifted, and Empowered. She's here to tell us more about that business, how you can get involved in the upcoming 2020 Young, Gifted, and Empowered Awards. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me, Tonya.
We appreciate you being here. So the first question here, you started YG&E in 2015 to help remedy negative stories about Blacks in the media. Just tell us how that process began for you, just what it took to create this.
Okay, well, I'll have to go back a little bit before 2015 when I was in DC and we had just heard the verdict from the Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman trial, and he was found not guilty. And I just remember feeling helpless, not feeling like I had a lot to offer our community at that time. And then I also thought about how they tried to portray Trayvon as a predator and how
a thug.
And how they portrayed his friends in the media. And I was just like, someone needs to be telling different stories about African Americans in the media. And when I got back home from DC, I kind of started brainstorming on how would I help, what would my contribution be to help to change the narrative, to tell the stories, to be the change I wanted to see in the world. And I started thinking about, and then I was watching the media here locally, and I started thinking about all the stories I was seeing in our local media. And I'm just like, I know people that are doing amazing things, and those stories never get told. So I decided I wanted to tell those stories. I wanted to be the change agent that began to tell stories about young professionals, young African-American professionals who were from Mississippi or had Mississippi ties. And there you have Young, Gifted, and Empowered. That's how it came about.
I love that. I love that. So is this a nonprofit organization? Is it just an award show? What is YG&E?
So we started off as an award show, and we recently gained our nonprofit status. So thank you. And so there's some things that we definitely want to do. Again, the biggest part of it is the award show where we honor young professionals in art, education, innovation, leadership, philanthropy, and entrepreneurship. But last year in 2019, we introduced the Young, Gifted, and Empowered Youth Summit. And now in 2020, in addition to the award show and the Youth Summit, this year we're doing the art exhibit because we have now over 30 different stories that we've told. And,
oh, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so now we can, not just have those stories at one time, at one point in time, but now we can spread those out and share them out with the community.
Exactly. So you feel like YG&E has contributed to changing that narrative. You feel like you're on track, that you're gaining the recognition that you need to change those stories?
I absolutely,
or change the narrative?
I do believe that we've played a part in that. A lot of the honorees come back and tell me, before you told my story, no one knew who I was in the community. Or, after you told my story, I got, a lot of people began to reach out to me from the media and speaking engagements. And then not only that, we've built a cohort of leaders that now network amongst themselves. Some of our past honorees from 2015 are doing things with honorees from 2017. And they met through YG&E, and now they're doing business together. They're out doing community service work together. So it really has become like a brotherhood and a sisterhood. And so
that's amazing. I mean, that's you really can't beat that. So you mentioned that the honorees are champions in art, education, innovation, leadership, entrepreneurship, and philanthropy. Why were those subjects important in choosing honorees?
I thought that gave a holistic view, or it just kind of covered things holistically in the areas that we're really thriving in. And when we say art, we mean entertainment, we mean, authors. And so I felt like that covered a wide range of areas that African Americans are really thriving in. And some areas get more recognition than others. Right. Like, a lot of the people that are in the art industry from Mississippi. Exactly. But do you know the people that are in innovation? Like, a Nashley Cephas, whose startup company was acquired by Amazon, or Sheena Allen, who has now online banking. So sometimes those stories don't get told. So we wanted to make sure that we were covering a wide range of areas to make sure we were telling a wide range of stories.
Talk about Nashley Cephas a little bit and what she created and what exactly was acquired from Amazon. What did she do?
She created a part finder. So let's say you have some screws or something and you need the little nut part that goes on the screw and you can't find it. You take a picture of it and you upload it and Amazon will find it for you. That's what Amazon acquired from
That
her.
is amazing. That is amazing. So how do you go about choosing the honorees? You kind of keep your eyes and ears open? Do you have a team helping you? How do you select them?
Absolutely. Starting off, it was just me. And after the first year, I decided I did not want to be the only person making these decisions. And so what happened is after the first year, I began to invite the past honorees to help me select.
That's neat.
Yes, help us select applicants. And so we have, in every area, we try to have at least 3 applicants and we send them an application. They complete the application and then we come back together as a committee and vote on it. But over the year, we're watching people. I've already started screenshotting
for
things.
2021?
Yeah, of people that I'm like, oh my God, we need to highlight this person or I need to bring it to the committee. So it is definitely a committee effort. And I have a great committee. I try not to tell people who they are.
Okay. That was going to be one of my questions, if you could talk about the 2020 nominees, but we'll get to that.
The 2020 nominees I can tell you.
Okay, gotcha.
But like the selection committee, I kind of keep that,
you want to keep that to you, to yourself.
Yeah, because I want it to be organic. I want them, I did not want to make it a popularity contest.
Exactly.
And nothing's wrong with being popular.
Right.
I don't have a problem with that, but I wanted to make sure that we were choosing people because they were being effective.
Exactly.
And so, like I said, we have some of the past honorees, and then we have some community leaders that we all get together and select.
Awesome. That's awesome.
The average cost of a funeral is over $8,500. Are your loved ones prepared for this financial burden? If you are 85 years old or younger, Final Expense Life Insurance can ease that burden by paying up to $30,000 for funeral and burial expenses. No medical exams, rates will never increase, benefits will never decrease. Call now to lock in your lowest rate possible. Don't leave your loved ones to pay your debt. Call the KPG agency at 601-500-2751 to set up your policy today.
So you did mention that you've honored over 30 individuals, and I'm sure you've gotten to know a lot of them and enjoyed all of them. But who would be your top 3 that you say have resonated with you, that has inspired you in some way?
Oh, you're gonna get me in trouble.
Is that still like favorites? I don't want to.
It's like trying to say, who's your favorite child? Yeah, no.
We have those moments though where one child may stand out more than others. Doesn't mean that you don't love the other children, but if you could pick your top 5. Top 3 to 5 that just impacted you in a way that's like, wow, I didn't know this existed.
Let's see. There are so many because all of them, and all of them contribute so much to. I learned so much from them. I'm actually having the bios edited right now. I'm by editor for the art exhibit, and the editor, she called me. She's like,
you have so many amazing people.
Right. And she's like, I love reading these stories. She used to work for a newspaper. So she's just like, oh my God, these stories are so amazing. I love reading these stories. And so let's see. I would have to say one would be a young lady that we're honoring this year, her name is Dr. Lakeisha Hallman. She's from Batesville, Mississippi. But she resides in Atlanta. And she has a heart for small businesses. And she has she has a company called The Village Market. And what they do is help small businesses from around the country develop their business. And then they have markets for them every quarter.
So they're like a little small SBA in a sense.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so I love what she's doing with that. I love her story. I love the fact that, she stepped out on faith and has been doing it full time for a few years now. So I love her story. And see, I know I'm going to pick all the women because, we kind
of have affinity for women because we are women.
Because they are doing some wonderful things. So 2016, there was a young lady by the name Aisha Yandaro. She has a company or a nonprofit called Operation Springboard. And the work this past year, they gave an extra $1,000 a month to 12 women throughout the state of Mississippi to just use for whatever they needed the money for. Yes. And so the impact that a single parent, a single mom, or a family that's struggling, an extra $1,000 a month,
it will go a long way.
Absolutely.
It will go a long way. That will go a long way for me.
Yeah, me too.
Yes.
So that story and what Sheena Allen is doing to help the underbanked, people that that sometimes are going to predatory lenders to get loans and things like that, and don't have banking accounts and don't have a lot of times if you don't have banking accounts, it's very hard for you to build credit and get loans and things like that.
Or just financial literacy. So just helping with financial literacy.
The work that she's doing with financial literacy. Nashley Cephas. Nashley has some big things going on. She said this publicly, so I can say this.
Don't get in trouble.
I know, but she's had a groundbreaking. She's bought some property here in Jackson. In fact, not very far from the studio, and it is going to be a tech hub. And it is going to be
That's so needed.
Amazing. See, and I've named all women, so let me throw some men in there. Okay. Stephen James, the work that he's doing in the community, giving back. Mm-hmm. He has a heart for people. He has a heart for helping folks, and that has just inspired me. So
you love them all.
I do.
You love them all.
I do. I love them all.
Those are some amazing stories. Mm-hmm. Probably going to have to get them on the show so that they can talk a little bit more about what they do. So I'm excited about that. When reading over your website, you stated that the honorees operate in a high level of character, professionalism, and integrity. Mm-hmm. Do you think collectively as Black people that we operate on those principles, or have we kind of gotten away from that? What are your thoughts?
I think collectively we operate on those principles. I think sometimes we don't get a fair shake. And I think we have to be 10 times as better. I definitely think that sometimes our mistakes are magnified. Oh, yes. That, even innocent mistakes, things that, we didn't mean to do, get magnified. And sometimes that, that casts a shadow over the good work that we do.
Exactly.
But I believe that we do operate in integrity. I believe that we do have high levels of moral and
Exactly. It's just not showcased. It's always, especially in Mississippi, and with a lot of things that are going on in terms of the Mississippi prison system, and just the stories that you hear on the news. There are no positive stories. Everything that is related to Black people is either drug infested, crime infested, or it's just nothing positive on the horizon for us.
And we don't have the same leeway to make mistakes.
We don't.
And that's unfortunate, because in life you're going to make some mistakes.
Indeed.
And so, but what I love about our community is we love a good comeback story, and we will support you. We will give you another chance.
We will do it.
We
can be redeemed.
Absolutely.
We can be redeemed.
I agree.
You talked about starting your first youth summit, and in 2019 you hosted your first youth summit. What brought this about? Like, had that always been in the plans when you were creating Young, Gifted, and Empowered? Did you also want to focus on the youth, or how did it come about to create that?
That was something that just I knew it had to be more than just this one event, and I knew we had to be a little more grassroots and get out and into the community a little bit more. I'm the kind of person, I'll build or start one thing and then just kind of wait and see how it evolves and where it goes and what opportunities present itself.
Right.
And so one of the past honorees, Janelo Evans, she's the principal over at Michelle Obama Early College Program, which we do the Youth Summit with. I wanted to know, I was like, how can we get these people that we have, that we know are doing great things, how can we get them into your classroom?
Exactly.
How can we get them involved with your students? And she and I sat down one Saturday and came up with an agenda for a youth summit.
Oh, wow.
She already had a built-in audience, you
she
know.
was ready.
Yeah, so that program, that was their first year. They had 41 students, I believe, and every year they add a new cohort of students. So this year they have 80, I think 82, 83 students this year. So
that would be the participants in the summit. So how do you go about picking the students that are going to participate? And is it high school? Is it junior high? What ages?
With the Michelle Obama Early College Program, it's an actual school in JPS. It is housed at Tougaloo College.
Gotcha.
Because what happens with those students is after they complete 4 semesters in school, they begin to work on their college education. Wow. They begin to take college level courses. In
high school?
Yes.
Which is not unheard of, but
right. So when they graduate from high school, they'll already have either an associate's degree or they'll have maybe enough hours to transfer into college as a sophomore or junior. So that came with a built-in audience already. So we didn't have to select any of the students. Hopefully one day we'll grow big enough where we can involve the entire school district.
That would be great.
But yes, so they you know, it was built in with her. Like I said, Janelo is she was our first honoree for education. She was our first educator of the year. And she's the principal over there, and it was just a great fit. They take that program and they run with it.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
So what exactly did the students do during the summit? How long was the summit, and what did they learn? So it was a day-long summit. So that Friday, that whole Friday was spent doing the summit. We had past from 8 to 3, Okay. And we had past honorees and different people from the community. So some of them started their own businesses. They got to choose the workshops they wanted to go to, just like you would with a summit. And they did, what all did they do? They did coding. They had coding workshops. They had photography and graphic design workshops. They had entrepreneurship workshops where they created, and these weren't just people coming in and talking to them about what they did. After they were actually showing them. And they allowed them to create their own. So some of the kids created their own businesses. They actually allowed them to do coding. There were people there that talked to them about podcasting. They had fashion designing. You may have to have us on for the podcasting again at some point, Shameka. Absolutely. I didn't mean to cut you off. No. I would absolutely love to have you guys there this year for the summit. I think it would be amazing for them to see themselves on TV. They would love that. Yeah, and you guys can come in and look. That's neat. Yeah. See, that's neat. Okay. That's what it's. Okay, so we'll have to do that. We would definitely make that happen. How important do you think workshops like that is to a young person? Why aren't things like that taught in school? I know I've kind of asked a twofold question, but how important are workshops like that to young people? So after the workshop, I spoke with Chanelo and I spoke with some of the honorees. I actually had to gather myself at that workship because when I got there, everybody was so overwhelming. I went to my car and cried because it was beautiful. It was beautiful to see that. Yeah, exactly. And the presenters were so engaging and the students were so engaged. Exactly. And so the presenters, a lot of them just like, make sure I'm back next year. I want to come back next year. And so, Principal Dr. Evans, she shared with me that for some of her students at the end of the school year, they listed that as one of the top things for them. That they enjoy? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it is amazing. I often say to my fiance that a child doesn't know what they want to do unless they're exposed to what they can do. Absolutely. So if you're not exposing them to all these different things, which they should be exposed outside of a summit, they should already have experience with coding, especially, I have a computer science degree, and by 2025, I think they said it would be something like 20,000 coding jobs available. And so they don't have enough people to kind of fill the space at which technology is growing. It's so essential to, the growth of young people.
Bob knows it's never too early for a final expense policy to protect his son. Sue made sure that all their final expense policies are in place. Helen's final expense policy guarantees she won't be a burden to her daughter. Jane's mother's final expense policy covered her final arrangements and so much more. Your final expense policy can cover funeral services, medical bills, debt, and provide cash security. And there are no medical exams required. Call the KPG agency at 601-500-2751 to set up your policy today.
Do you feel like there is a lack of mentoring with children, and what can be done to kind of combat that?
I do, and I'm guilty of that myself. I will, that is definitely something that an area that I do need to work on in my life, because I believe sometimes you think, well, I don't have it all together. I still have this to do, but you have to use what you have. I think kids, youth, they appreciate what you already have that you're able to give them. And sometimes we become so down on ourselves, like, okay, well, I'm not here. And
exactly.
But the best way to begin to get to that next level is to give of yourself at that level where you are right now.
Exactly. So, and that's what you're doing, which is amazing. I see the vision that you're creating with YG&E, and it's kind of reminiscent of Black Girls Rock.
Yeah.
In that it inspires and it shows these positive imagery. Black Girls Rock is really just kind of geared towards women, but did that inspire you in some way to kind of start YG&E?
Absolutely. I would be wrong if I said, I don't want to say the word lying,
show, but that's where you're headed, Shameka.
Well, listen, from your mouth to God's ears. So yes, it was very inspiring, and that just having watched that show and being inspired by it. So yes, YG&E does have some.
Is that the goal to at some point or in the future for YG&E to be maybe regional or national? What are the goals for you?
The goal is to make it a regional national show at some point.
And it is televised now, right?
It is. It's been televised for the last 5 years. And so, I've had some thoughts about moving beyond Mississippi, looking at young professionals from others, especially southern states. I think the South gets a bad rap sometimes, because we have that charming southern drawl. People just, give us, a bad rap. And I've been able to travel a lot, and a lot of times people are, you're from Mississippi, and what is it like to be Black and in Mississippi? Well, I
really think they think we're still lynching people from trees in Mississippi. I really think there is a very country misconception about.
And what's so interesting, sometimes our own Southern partners. Yeah, I can remember being in Houston and at a house gathering, and there was some people there just like, oh no, I don't think I'll ever come to Mississippi. And I said, well,
it's
why?
Not scary, we won't bite you.
And telling you the example that I always give people is, when was the last time you heard of a police shooting in Mississippi?
Really?
Or when is the last time that you heard of all these things that you see in the media with police brutality and things like that?
When do you hear? Exactly. It does not happen.
I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. I'm not saying that, but you have not seen that in the media the way that you see it in other places. And I'll tell people we still have a long way to go.
We do.
A lot of our challenges now are not blatant racism.
Exactly.
It is systemic. And so, but I tell people, you need to come and see my Mississippi. And I always invite them, come to Mississippi. I'll show you great hospitality. You won't find any nicer people than people in Mississippi.
That is so true.
Y'all
come on and visit.
Yeah, come on and visit.
I want to talk about a few of your upcoming events.
Okay.
On February 1st, you have YG&E Black History Art Exhibit. Talk about that, where it's going to be, and the times. And just talk about what else you have coming up with your upcoming events.
Okay. So, yes, February 1st is the actual art opening. The art is, we're calling it Mississippi Proud, Young, Gifted, and Empowered Black History Art Exhibit. And so this makes year 6 for us. So like I said, we've featured over 30 different young professionals from Mississippi. And so now we have those stories that we can share. And we have photography, we have videos, and we're doing a month-long exhibit at the Mississippi Arts Center downtown. And
so these are Mississippi artists who are showcasing their art?
No, these are our young gifted and empowered honorees. Photos and interviews.
Really?
Yes,
okay.
Yes,
now tell me again, where's that going to be?
It's going to be at the Art Center downtown. Not the Art Museum, but the Art Center in front of it where the planetarium is.
Okay.
And so it'll be open every day, I think, except for Monday.
Mm-hmm.
It's free and open to the public. And
we'll have to check that out.
Yeah, we'll have the opening reception. It'll open February 1st, and then we'll have an opening reception for it on February 6th, that Thursday, that following Thursday. So I'm excited about that.
Yes, indeed.
And then it goes to, it actually go to Delta State after that in March.
Neat, Shameka.
And,
that is amazing.
Yeah, so that's the first thing. And then we have the Young Gifted and Empowered Awards on February 29th. Red carpet starts at 5:45 p.m. The actual show starts at 7 p.m. and it's going to be over at Jackson Prep. It'll be free and open to the public as it always is. And then March 6th, we'll have the Youth Summit, and that's a closed event for the students of the Michelle Obama Early College Program.
Okay.
So,
and you also have on February 15th the summit again at Tougaloo, or is
that's actually March 6th.
That's March 6th.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, I'm sorry, I got my information wrong on that. But
okay.
You still have some great events coming up. Talk about the actual award show. What can a person expect at the award show? What type of musical, theatrical performances? Just talk about that.
I love the award show.
I love how excited you are getting about that's amazing.
It is, it's a labor of love. Do not get me wrong, managing all these personalities and people, but I love
warranted stress.
Yes, I love seeing us dressed up.
Yes, indeed.
I love,
it's a lot that goes into that production.
Yes, because it's an award show. It's not, I have to tell people all the time, it's not like a banquet. So,
exactly.
We'll have a red carpet reception with a DJ and some hors d'oeuvres and things like that. And then we'll get into the show. And it is, those performances, we have some of the most artistic people in the world.
How do you get talent? Who do you look for to, how do you recruit the talent?
Not by myself. No, but even with that, there's a different committee that works with that. My music director, Chandra Wise, she's really good.
I've heard that name.
Yeah, she's the minister of music over at New Jerusalem Church, okay. But she puts together the band and we work together. I tell her what I'm looking for from a performance standpoint, vocally and things like that. And she starts reaching out to artists, and throughout the year, we're sending each other information like, oh, did you see this performance? Mm-hmm. Or, oh, did you see this? I would like to do this for YG&E. Then Montage Dance Theater with Tiffany Jefferson. They were recently featured in New York. They did, I think they performed at Carnegie Hall.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so she's just an amazing choreographer. And so she does a lot of the choreography kinds of things. And so really we just sit down and we kind of brainstorm about what we want it to look like that year and what we want the performances to be. And then also what plays a big role in that is the honorees, things that they say that may trigger certain things,
exactly.
During their interviews, and may just make me say, well, let's do
look
something.
At that.
Yeah, they said this, so let's see if we can pull something from that. So
let's talk about the 2020 nominees this year. Who are you honoring? And just what can we expect from this award show this year?
Okay. So this year we have 5 honorees in 4 of our categories. And so for Educator of the Year is a young lady by the name of Kiana Pelleton. She's the lead principal at Laurel Elementary Arts School, I believe that's the name of it.
Okay.
And she does a lot of innovative things to educate her students. First of all, her school is an A school in an F district. She's the only A school there.
In Laurel, Mississippi?
Yes, in that district. And her 3rd grade students had a perfect score on their reading.
That's amazing.
And she does some very, like they have a second line.
I love it when we teach our babies and they
absolutely.
are engaged about learning. That's awesome.
Yeah, one of the things she does with them is a second line funeral for words. So they have a funeral to bury words that are overused.
Oh, really?
So they can expand their vocabulary. She also has the community very involved. The community, she went out and got the community businesses and individuals to donate over 100 bikes, new bikes for students at her school.
Really?
That performed at a certain level on their standardized testing. So she's amazing. Then we have Rukia Lumumba. She's one of our philanthropists of the year, and Rukia does a lot of social justice, prison reform work.
So needed.
So needed. And then there's another. We have a second philanthropist of the year because both of their applications were just so good.
They were good.
Yeah, she's from a grassroots perspective, but then we have Gregory Johnson, who is he works for the Rockefeller Foundation. Mm-hmm. And so they do a lot of corporate philanthropy type of work. And then we have LaMarcus Walker, who is a senior creative director. I'm sure I got that wrong, but he works for Target. You know how Target has their Black History items every year. He curates that. He helps designs that. He has an engineer and a graphic designer or design background. And then we have Lakeisha Hallman, the young lady that I told you about from Batesville, that has the Village Marketplace. She's our entrepreneur of the year.
That is neat. So you're looking forward to it. You're excited about it. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great event. So please get your tickets. You can just go get tickets.
Right, or you can just show up because it's a free event. We try to get people to RSVP so we can gauge the number of people we're expecting. But if people don't RSVP, it's okay. It's not a deal breaker.
So we're going to talk about you being a boss, just a female entrepreneurship, because I'm hearing you talking about this committee worked on this and this committee worked on this, because this is a full-fledged production. So talk about the sense of fulfillment and self-development that comes from creating and having your own business. What does that feel like?
It is, I can't put it into words, but to see something go from a vision or a thought, and then to make it a reality, it feels amazing. It shows you that you're stronger than you think you are. Indeed. And that you're more capable than you think you are.
Indeed.
And so I don't know if I consider myself a boss. I'm still building teams. I'm still learning how to delegate. I'm still learning how to take my hands off of everything and not be so involved in everything, and trust people that have bought into the vision, trust that they get it, and learn how to teach and guide versus
doing it all
myself.
Yes.
Yeah, because it'll take me less time. Let me just do it myself. I think I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur because it just kind of...
It chooses you.
Yeah, it does. It does. And it's not for the faint at heart. Indeed. And I like problem solving. And I remember the first thing I learned about entrepreneurship is every day you're going to solve a problem. And if you're not up for solving a problem every day,
you're not up for this then.
You're not cut out for it. This isn't what you should be doing. And so I enjoy it. I look forward to getting back to it full time one day.
I hear you. I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
So talk about some of the challenges you faced in creating your own business. Maybe not just this business, but just any business in general that you've created, and how you overcame those challenges.
Sometimes I think that one of the challenges, of course, I'll have those challenges of financing, being able to build a team. But I think for me, sometimes the challenge has been knowing when to pivot. And I've learned, and especially within the last 2 years, I've learned and accepted that, sometimes you have to pay attention to the trends and where the trends are going, and you have to pay attention to what the demand is on your company. And you may be thinking one way, and your company is pulling you in another way, and it's a more fruitful way, but because you're so committed to this
tunnel vision this way,
you're not seeing, okay, it may be time to pivot. And the last couple of years, I think before the show, you asked me if I was still doing PR and marketing. Well, I've kind of pivoted from that. Life has taken me in some different directions, and I've been exposed to some things that made me say, I love PR.
Okay.
Yeah, I love PR and marketing, but this is pulling me. This is pulling me, and I need to explore that.
Right.
And so I think sometimes as entrepreneurs, we can't be afraid to pivot, because what's for you is going to be for you anyways.
Indeed. That's so true.
Hi, I'm Tonya Gray with your Insurance Minute. People buy life insurance for a number of reasons. One of the primary reasons is providing income protection for a family in the event a breadwinner passes away. Another reason is providing financial security for children should something happen to the parents. Life insurance can even be a way to offset estate taxes in large estate plans. Another reason some people buy life insurance is to save for retirement. The cash value in some permanent life insurance policies can grow tax deferred, and the cash value can be borrowed at a later date. When using life insurance as a cash savings vehicle, it is important to understand the internal fees and guarantees that are built into the policy. Life insurance should be used as a tool for financial protection in case of death. The KPG agency's focus is to provide financial protection in the most cost-effective way possible. Contact us today to start your policy.
Talk about your greatest achievement and your proudest moment. Or have you had your greatest achievement? You don't think? Because sometimes we haven't had those great moments, but I'm sure there has been something that has been pretty phenomenal and wowing in your life thus far. What has those moments or that moment been?
For me, I would say if I had to choose one right now, it would be YG&E, to be able to tell those stories and to be able to see, because I think when it's not about you, and you're able to uplift others, I think then you're really being a service to God, being used by God.
Indeed.
And that's important to me, to be, to make sure that I'm being a service and that I'm being led and used by God. And I do believe that YG&E is divinely given to me by God. And so I think that probably, let me say this, I believe the best is yet to come. But if you had to ask me about one particular thing right now, it would have to be that, to be able to shine a light on somebody else. That's important to me.
That's neat. That's neat. What empowers you? What is your why? What makes you do what you do?
What is my why and what makes me do what I do? Honestly, I'm very spiritually grounded. And so making sure that I'm on purpose with what God has for me to do, and making sure that I'm walking the path that He has for me, that
you can never go wrong with that.
Yeah, that's my why. I mean, when I leave this earth, I want to leave empty. I don't want to have any shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Was I supposed to? I want to leave here.
Live it.
Yeah, I want to leave here empty.
I love that, Shameka. Yeah. I love that. So how can one get involved, volunteer, or participate, sponsor with YG?
Oh, we need sponsors.
How can we get involved?
So you can visit our website at www.younggiftedandempowered.com. And or you can find us on Facebook, Young Gifted and Empowered, and reach out to us, send us an email. My email address is savvy, SAVVY, Inc, INCPR, @gmail.com. If you're interested in volunteering, we always need people to help, to help on the night of, to help on the night leading up to. If you're interested in being a sponsor, you can hit us up on the website or at their email address. So there are a number of ways. Or if you're just interested in bringing your whole church congregation, your whole school. Look, we have 1,200 seats.
That's all right. Plenty of room.
Plenty of room.
And Shameka's information is going to be listed at the bottom of the screen, so there won't be a lack of information. You'll be able to get in touch with you. What advice would you give to women or younger girls who are looking to give back to their community or just looking to start their own business? What advice would you give them? Start
where you are, use what you have. Because I think sometimes as women, it has to be, and not even just as women, I think as people, we say, oh, okay, I have to have this, this, and this before I can start.
Why are we like that?
I mean, it may be that perfectionism in us, but I think you get more grace on the way. So when you start moving, things begin. I had never done an award show before. There are a lot of things that I do right now that I've never done before, but I just continue to move.
Yeah.
You just move forward, and as you move, things will begin. People will come along and see, oh,
you'll get the help and the service that you need. Just move forward, and then watch things begin to fall in place. Well, Shameka, I have enjoyed this. So much continued success to you in what you're doing. I think YG&E is the next contender for Black Girls Rock. I mean, we will see this nationally. Stop by anytime to let us know what you have going on. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
You are very welcome. For more information, visit younggiftedandempowered.com. If you are interested in promoting your business, product, or service, email us at viralstreamtv@gmail.com. Don't forget to click that subscribe button. I'm Tonya G. Thank you for watching the chat room.
Click here